All right, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, right? That's going to be today's presentation, all right? So the way I see this, wow, that's pretty small, isn't it? I think I might have to put it on the other side. Hold on a second. Get myself organized here. There we go. All right, so let's just jump right in. Right. Okay. So, I also got Jack here. Is kind of like, annoying. So, because I have an open studio, right? It's not like I might have to build a wall. I'm starting to think I might have to put a wall there and a door. That way, you can't come in here in the studio and because usually nobody's ever making any noise in the place. So I'm kind of like, wait a minute. So anyway, Alice in Wonder, decoding Alice in Wonderland. All right, this is a presentation on a journey through the soul. Okay, this is a detailed allegorical translation. Hold on a second. Translation, okay, of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Okay, chapter 1. So down the rabbit hole. Okay, I'm gonna break down the hidden meaning of the story in different segments, explaining every difficult term, simply as a teacher guiding you through a secret map of the human soul. Right. So the golden afternoon. Okay. It's the setting of the stage for the soul's journey. Okay, so the very first lines of the story tell us exactly where Alice is. Okay, not just on a riverbank, but in a special state of mind. The text says it is all in the golden afternoon, and that the day made her feel sleepy and stupid. This is not just a hot day. It is a clue about the spiritual location of the beginning of the journey. Okay, in the secret teachings, the highest energy center of the body, located at the very top of the head, like a crown, is called Sahasrara chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. This center is associated with the element of ether, all right, pure spirit, and the state of deep rest, dreams, or meditation, where the mind is dissolved and sleepy. When the conscious mind is relaxed, the inner secret part of you can take over. The color golden tells us which huge forces rules this scene. Gold is the color of the sun in astrotheology, right? Which is the study of how stars and planets relate to gods and human life. The sun is the king, the conscious mind, or the deity within us, as it is afternoon. Okay, as it is afternoon. The sun is beginning to set, meaning the ego, your day-to-day thinking self, is becoming weaker and dissolving. All right, and dissolving. Where the hell am I? Shit. See, you got Jack is distracting me in the background. Now he's eating on the. He's eating the chair now. Jesus. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna have to edit that out for tomorrow's thing. This is so funny. All right, so if when consciousness mind relaxes and the other part take over, the color golden is the force becoming weaker and dissolving, making room for the unconscious to surface. Okay, the moment is about dissolution. Okay, the boundaries between the real world and the inner world are melting away. An early soft phase of interchange called albedo, the whitening. Okay, in other words, the cleansing. In the old texts of alchemy, this is where that's where that comes from. All right, go to our second slide. So, the sister and the riverbank leaving the world of day-to-day thinking. Okay, so hold on a second. Am I still on that one? All right. Anyway, I just want to make sure I'm on the right slide here. Right. So that was the first slide. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but anyway. So the sister and the riverbank, leaving the world of day-to-day thinking. Alice's sister plays a crucial role by simply existing next to her. The sister is reading a book, a symbol of rational knowledge, order, and the mundane world. The world we all agree is real every day. Alice is trying to look at this world, but the book has no pictures or conversation. It has no conversations. Oh, God. Which makes it boring and useless for the upcoming inner journey. The riverbank itself is a threshold. Thank you, Jack. Yes, thank you. It is a very edge between two worlds. The safe, profane space, the ordinary world of the sister, and the frightening, scared space, the inner world of Wonderland. For Alice to begin her transformation, she must abandon the sister's world, the logical mind, for a new, chaotic, symbolic world. The story starts by clearly showing the hero is bored with her current reality. Okay. See, the dog is still distracting me. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Very beautiful world. For Alice, for her to be able to transform, she must abandon the sister's world. New symbolic starts by clearly showing up the hero is bored with the current reality, and this boredom is the soul's signal that is ready to move into a deeper state of being. The sister represents the persona archetype, the mask of polite society that Alice is about to strip away. All right, so this is the White Rabbit, segment 3. Okay, the secret messenger of change. Okay, the sudden appearance of the White Rabbit is not accidental. It is the call to adventure, a necessary shock to move Alice from her sleepy state. In mythology, this character is known as the Herald archetype, a figure that arrives to signal that the hero's ordinary life is over. The rabbit talks and wears the waistcoat and gloves, making it an irrational thing behaving rationally. Okay, which is why it grabs Alice's attention. In the world of symbols, this rabbit is ruled by the planet Mercury, okay, the fastest planet and the messenger of the gods, which also correlates to an organ in the brain, which I've mentioned before in another presentation when I did the tortoise and the hare, which actually kind of like correlated a lot with the Matrix and, you know, following the right rabbit and Alice in Wonderland. And all of this, I believe, are allegories that connect you directly to your psyche, your brain, your subconscious mind. Okay, the fastest planet and the messenger of the gods. Mercury governs communication, curiosity, swift movement, and trickery. The rabbit is the mercurial psychopump, all right, which is a fancy word for a guide to the soul, leading the living into the realm of the dead or the unconscious. Alice is not following an animal. She is following a compelling, strange idea or impulse that comes from deep inside her, compelling her to change. The rabbit is that divine messenger that kicks off the entire process of the inner alchemy, right? So everything starts with that particular area of the brain. So segment 4 is going to be the pink eyes and the watch. The third eye awakens. Okay, 2 details about the rabbit are most important: its pink eyes and its frantic check of the watch. In the symbolic anatomy of the human being, the center for spiritual sight, intuition, and visualization is the Ajna chakra, the third eye, located between the eyebrows. This center is linked to the pituitary gland, which Manly P. Hall calls the master gland, that controls the whole physical system. The rabbit's shocking pink eyes are the sudden opening or activation of Alice's own spiritual perception. She is seeing something her ordinary eyes cannot. Furthermore, the rabbit is obsessed with time, crying, "I shall be too late." This obsession symbolizes the collapse of the rational mind's control over time. The watch, a symbol of human-made linear tick-tock time, is suddenly useless in the face of the eternal, non-linear time of the spirit world. Okay? This conflict between rational time and eternal time is a core theme of the spiritual awakening process. The Ajna center starts to perceive a different reality. All right, sorry about that. Jack unplugged my earphones. All right, segment 5. Had to help him up on the chair. The descent begins. Segment 5. The immediate choice to fall. Okay, yeah, it's in other words the leap of faith, right? So Alice's decision to pop down a large rabbit hole and not once think about how she will get out is a definite moment of commitment. The hole is the vertical entrance to the underworld, a mythological descent found in every hero's journey. This hole is where the old self has to die before the new self can be born. Hence, you got to empty your cup before you fill it. It is a sudden, blind leap of faith. The descent is not gentle. It is an immediate rejection of the safe horizontal world for the dangerous vertical world of the spirit. Okay, she is moving from the outer world, the profane, into the inner, secret world, the sacred. In occult terms, this hole represents the beginning of the journey down Shushumna Nadi. Shushumna Nadi. I'm going to be able to pronounce these words a lot better eventually. The central energy channel that runs from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. Alice's curiosity is so strong, her soul's compulsion is so great, that she simply steps over the edge without counting the cost. A necessary action for any initiate seeking great change. All right. So, yeah, you see, Jack has something to say about this. He does. You all right, Jack? Yeah, good? All right. Thank you. Wow. All right. Falling down the well. All right. Segment 6. Okay. So this is pretty much the dark plunge into the deep self. The moment Alice starts falling down a very deep well is the story's central event of Negrido. Negrido is an alchemical term meaning the blackening or the putrefaction. It is the stage of the great work where the old raw material, Alice's sense of self, must be completely broken down, decayed, and dissolved in darkness before it can be rebuilt into something new and golden. The well is a symbol of the deepest structure of the earth and the deepest part of the unconscious mind. This deep, heavy, structural place is governed by the planet Saturn, which rules limits, structure, gravity, and death. Her fall is slow, endless, and without control, which is the feeling of the ego dying and losing all its power. She is passively surrendering to the dark, earth-like forces of her own foundation. The depth of the well links this moment directly to the physical base of the body. Here it says the lowermost energy center, the Muladhara chakra, okay, the root center, which governs fundamental survival and grounding. Okay. All right, so the floating furniture, segment 7, stripping away useless school knowledge. As Alice falls, she notices that the well's sides are filled with cupboards and bookshelves holding maps and pictures. This is a visual diagram of the alchemical stage called separatio, the separation, in other words. Alice is separating the useful parts of her mind from the useless clutter. The books and the maps symbolize all of school's knowledge and the conscious mind's attempt to map or control reality. This kind of knowledge is associated with the expansive planet Jupiter, which governs scholars, books, and wisdom. However, in the realm of the unconscious, the well, this knowledge is entirely useless. Okay, it is it is all hanging upon pegs, showing it is merely superficial decoration. The great wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus is relevant here. Okay, the universe is mental. Since Wonderland is a mental universe, the physical surface level knowledge Alice brings from the top world is worthless for true mental transmutation. It must be separated and left behind. Leave the world behind. Isn't that a new movie that was out a couple of years ago? I believe so. Okay, the vertical well, segment 8, mapping the fall onto the body's spine. The physical description of the well as a long vertical shaft is one of the most important clues for understanding the allegorical anatomy of human being. Okay, the entire body's energy system is built around a central pillar, the spine. Manly P. Hall refers to the spine as Jacob's ladder, right? The cable that connects the divine mind to the physical body. Alice's fall is a symbolic journey down this ladder, down the spinal column. The descent moves her awareness away from the light and air, and the crown and the throat chakras, towards the dense, heavy earth element at the very base of the spine, where the Muladhara chakra is located. Okay, the long, slow fall allows her to observe her spiritual terrain as she passes each energetic level. Therefore, the well is not just a hole in the ground, it is a direct metaphor for the spinal channel. Okay, and the journey is a forced awakening of the energy centers along this axis. Right, go, all right, back, all right. So the empty marmalade jar, where the inner power is missing, midway through her fall, Alice grabs a jar labeled orange marmalade. She holds it for a moment, find it is empty, and carefully places it on a cupboard. This small scene has a powerful meaning for the next stage of her initiation. The color orange is the key. Orange is the color most closely associated with Manipura chakra, right? The sacral chakra. No, actually it was the solar plexus. Sorry about that. And here's another thing about what I know about the orange is actually it's the number 33. Now, I can't remember how I know that, but I just know. Orange is 33. That's what represents 33 as a color. Okay, which is the center of personal power, will, and enlightenment of fire. This center is governed by the assertive, fiery planet Mars. The jar is a container for marmalade, a jam made from fruit, a product of will and effort. The fact that the jar is empty means that Alice's personal will, her solar fire, and her ability to control her situation are completely drained and missing at the start of her journey. She cannot rely on her existing power or fire to complete the fall, showing that she must earn her spiritual strength later. By gently putting the empty jar away, she is acknowledging that the tools she needs are not present yet. So here it is. The secret map of self and the initiation process complete. Okay, chapter 1. Right, this is only chapter 1 in the whole story. Imagine that. This is just chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1 ends with Alice hitting the ground in a soft heap of hitting the ground with a soft heap. The fall is over. The first great painful stage of her secret initiation is complete. The total journey has been forced Negrido, the blackening of her ego, beginning with the golden light of the Sahasrara chakra, the top of the head, the crown chakra, and forcing her awareness to the depths of the Muladhara chakra, the base of the spine, the root chakra. She was guided by the mercurial impulse of the rabbit, Ajna chakra. Okay, lost her rational knowledge, which was Sapariatio, and discovered the lack of her inner will, Manipura chakra. The story is, in its essence, a secret map for spiritual ascent that paradoxically begins with a total and uncontrolled descent. This process mirrors the ancient hidden teachings found across all mystery schools, right? Showing that you must first fall into the dark chaos of the self before you can truly be reborn into the light. The end of the chapter leaves her fully initiated into the lower, foundational world of the unconscious mind, ready to begin the work of climbing back up the ladder of self with the new knowledge. And that'll conclude my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed that, except for the stuttering and the jack interruptions, right? Which obviously I'm gonna have to spend more time now, kind of like editing all that out, right? So let's bring myself full screen here. And for some reason, my screen is small. I don't know what's going on.